Okay, on this third video, we're going to add in the parts that we need, the axles and the threaded bar and our front wheel to make our front wheel assembly. Okay, so that's what we're going to have a go at doing here. So from here, I'm going to start a new part. So new part. Okay. I'm going to sketch this onto the, now I'm going to use the right plane here. Okay. And let's have a think how we're going to do this. So let's start drawing. We'll start drawing from there. So we're going to draw, let's draw a little box to start with, and then we can kind of cut the bits out as we need to. Okay, so we know that this is going to be 12 across the way, and I suspect it's probably going to be 12 that way. So let's do it 12 that way, then 12 that way, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so let's go 12 that way, 12 that way. Okay, now I need to draw another rectangle which is going to be in the center part here. Okay, now what do I know about this? Well, I know these bits here are going to be 5, this is going to be 2, and that's going to need to be 3. So let's get some smart dimensions going on. So this bit here is going to be 2 mil, this bit here is going to be 3, and then the distance from here to the side there is going to be 5, so it lines up with the chassis. Okay, so that bit's okay there. Let's trim off that center bit there. Okay, so we're already starting to get that shape there. I probably need to put a smart dimension in there just to be sure. No, it already knows that, it's happy, that's fine. So now I need to add a circle in here, so let's grab a circle. I'm just going to draw it in the center there. Smart dimension that. Now that's going to be 3 mil diameter. It needs to be in the center that way, so if I go from that center dot to the side there and say that needs to be 6. Okay, and then I'm going to need to figure out how far it is from there to the top. Okay, I'm going to say 4 to start with, and we'll see what it looks like. We may have to change that, so I'll say 4 there. Okay, now I need this section here to curve around. Remember what we're making here, just a quick recap, is we're making these little axle stands here. Okay, so if I go up to the top, you can see that's the shape I'm after there. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit clearer what we're up to. Okay, so 5, and that's our 3 mil, because obviously that's going to stick into there, so that's the thickness of the wood. That's 2 mil. Okay, and it's fairly close there, isn't it? So we may need to move that down a bit, we'll see. And then it looks like it curves from there around. Okay, so let's go and do that bit there. So to curve, we'll use a 3-point arc, and we'll probably go from, let's see if we can do it level with that one. So I'm going from there to there, and I'm going to bend it up so it touches the top. Yeah, I think that looks okay. So just so you know, I did it from the line there across the way, so that's why I was waiting for it to kind of link up. It draws little lines when it's doing, and again, as you can see, look, it's drawing little lines now. You can see that it lined up with that one. Okay, let's trim off those ends bits. So just trim off there, there, here, and there. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit strange on that corner, isn't it? It's not quite as nice as the curve that they got using the other way. That's fine. I think that'll do us. Okay, so let's say okay, and let's save that. So File, Save As, into the folder you're using. So this is going to be my BRMe, and this is going to be the axle. Axle holder, because the axle is obviously it's going to be the bar bit. Axle holder, and save that. Okay, just waiting for that to save. Yeah, go. So it's saved. Okay, exit sketch. Let's extrude it. So select, make sure that's selected. Features, extrude 3 mil, always 3 mil, because that's just what material we have, and say okay. Alright, and I can turn it around. You can see for some reason mine's gone white. I don't know why, the colour's a bit odd there, but hopefully yours is more of a kind of bluey grey colour. I don't know what's going on there, but that is what it is. Okay, and again I'll do a little save there just to make sure that's happy. Okay, next part I'm going to make, so I'm just going to close that off. Next part I'm going to make is the threaded bar, so let's go back to new and part and OK. Now, depending on, so I'm going to do this on the, let's do this on the right plane as well, okay, because then it's in the same way as the axle holders, which is how it should be. Grab a circle or start drawing from the center, and I need to smart dimension that to say that that's going to be 3 mil diameter. So say 3 mil diameter, and okay. Now I just need to extrude that up the way. I'm going to go exit sketch, sketch 1, features, extrude, and we're going to say 50, I think. Okay, so let's just drop that up to 50 and say OK. All right. And yeah, you can just about see it. I don't know if I've clicked on some strange button that's making it a different colour. I might actually just make this a colour, just so if you want to have a go at doing this, you can do as well, obviously. So to go to the little beach ball here, and I'm just going to drag that out a bit. I can't see what I'm doing. So let's go appearances. I want to go, oh, let's try metal. What about copper? Might be exciting. Let's try that, see if that does it. No, it's not liking it. I think there's some sort of strange setting on there, otherwise that would be a nice coppery colour. Okay, anyway, that's done. So I'm now going to go and let's save this part here. So file, save as, and this is going to be my front axle. BRMe front axle. Okay, now while I'm here, let's try and be cunning about this, okay, because I want 2 of these, so if I, but different sizes, because obviously I need one for the back. So if I go right click on here on the boss extrude and go edit feature, okay, I can make a much longer one. So let's make this 100. This is going to be for my back wheel, so I'm going to say 100. Okay, green tick, and when I go to save, I'm going to go save as. And this time I'm going to just change it from front axle to back axle. Okay, and I've just very quickly made those 2 bits. Now, if you are feeling at the end of this tutorial that you need a bit more or whatever, there is videos you can go onto YouTube and just type in threaded bar or threaded rod, and it will actually talk you through how to actually make this properly threaded. I'm not going to do this in this because I think we'll have enough time anyway, or we won't have enough time, but feel free if you want to have a go at doing that to make it a bit more realistic at the end. Okay, so I'm going to close that off. Okay, I'm going to close off that as well now. So now what I want to do is start an assembly. So I'm going to go File, New, Assembly. This is where I'm going to bring all the parts together and mate them up, so we can actually see that how they fit and everything. So what it always says, what do you want to start with? Let's grab the chassis. That's the main bit. Okay, that goes in there. Okay, you'll notice that on here it's got a little F there. That means it's fixed. Okay, it's always important that one part or your main part is fixed so that everything else you can move around to fit into there. Okay, so let's insert some components. We want to insert our axle holder, and we need 4 of those, but we'll do one at a time. Okay, so we're going to bring that in there. Okay, so as you can see, it's the wrong way around, so we need to do a little spin that around. Or do we? I don't think we do actually. I think if we mate that, it'll probably bring it around anyway. So let's try that. So we're going to go to mate. Now when I want to mate this surface here, is going to mate to that bit there. So that'll spin that around. There you go. You can see that's already spun in. Okay, make sure it's always on coincident and say OK. I'm now going to go underneath and make it level that way. So I just spun that around by holding the mouse wheel. Okay, and say this flat surface here should be level that one. Okay, and then I just need one more movement, so I need to get it into place, and that's going to be that part of the chassis is going to be touching that bit there. Okay, and that's all in. Alright, so that's my first one done. Let's bring another one in. So, insert component, and axle holder again, open that up, bring that in, and I'm going to make that bit there, mate, coincident with that side there, and that'll spin it around that way. So I don't need to bother doing any rotating with triads or anything like that. The mate's simple enough that you can bring that in. Okay, I can say that bit there is going to mate with that bit there, and that brings it that way, and finally just that bit is going to be flat with that bit. Okay, so there's my front bit in. Okay, alright. For some reason mine seems to be doing some sort of mirror image underneath. I don't quite know why, but anyway. Okay, next I want to add in the threaded bar, so let's do that. So again, insert, and this will be my front axle, and this is where we'll find out if it's the right size or not. Okay. Now for this one, it's going to be, we're going to use what's called a concentric mate. Okay, so I'm going to say mate. Okay, and it's going to be a concentric one. So I've just clicked on concentric. So this is going to say this circle here, oh, that circle there, and it will say edge is going to mate with this edge here, and again it will say edge there. All right, and I want to say OK, and I should be able to move it that way. Okay, so that looks okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. 50 across there, it's level. All right. So what do I need to do now is let's make a front wheel. Okay, so I'm just going to save that while we're here. So save as. Obviously it gives you options to rebuild it. So this is going to be my BRMe. I'm just going to call it BRMe and save. Okay, so let's make a new part. So new part, clicking on here, part. And I think the wheel, sketch, it's going to be right plane. Let's try right plane. It doesn't matter, we can always spin it around. And I just need to draw a circle. Okay, and I'm going to draw another circle in there. So the center circle obviously needs to be 3 mil. And the outside circle I think is going to be 40, but again we'll have a look and see what it looks like. If it looks ridiculous, if we've done something wrong, we can always come back to that. But as far as I'm aware, if I remember rightly, the space was 48, so that should give us about 4 mil each side of clearance. Okay, so let's exit that sketch. Let's extrude it. 3 mil as always. Enter. And let's save it. So save as front wheel. BRMe front wheel. Now we will use this part again because actually, if you remember rightly, when we glued our pulley together, it was made up of the 2 front wheels and a centerpiece. Okay, so we're going to use that bit again as well. Okay, so we've saved that. I can tell it's saved because I'll look up here. There's no little asterisk there, so I'm safe to close that off. Okay, let's insert that bit. Insert front wheel. Okay, so that's going to go there. And again, we're going to use that concentric mate. So, concentric for circles. Click on that there. You can see it says edge. Make sure it says edge, not the flat bit here. And I'm going to have to click on this edge here. And say OK. And then I can move that into the center. So let's have a look and see how it looks. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that doesn't look ridiculous or anything. I think we've got the right kind of measurements on there. Alright, that's sounding pretty good. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a little pause there and then we'll come back in the next video, and what we'll do is we'll start thinking about making the pulley and then the back wheels, and again use that threaded bar to line them all up. So we'll insert the parts there, put the threaded bar through there, and then we can put the end wheels on the pulleys and bring all those together. Alright, well done. It's certainly up to gold by now if you did a screenshot of that. Okay, or alternatively just leave it till the end and when you've got as many bits on there as you can. Alright, I'm just going to do a last little bit of save there before I move to the next video. Remember, if it does say rebuild, always rebuild, just to make it happy, which we like. Okay, well done.